Welcome back, Nick Lenz. It's Comic Corner, Classic/Non-Classic. This episode number 1075 and Doubleshot 969. I got two Spider-Man related trades for you. First up, it is Spider-Geddon. Yes, an event that was released last year. This trade here collects the entire miniseries, issues 0 through 5, and one of the tie-in miniseries, Vault of Spiders. Now here's kind of the thing when it comes to this particular cross. It's a sequel to Spider-Verse. Yes, Spider-Verse. And this entire thing is run by Christmas Cage. Now, in case you're wondering about the whole thing of Dan Slott's name being on here, he has, aside from the fact he created the Inheritors, well, with the exception of Moreland, and the fact he did the Spider-Verse story, he has nothing to do with the story at all because he was busy doing Fantastic Four and, what was the other one? Oh, yes. I was like, I remember which that book is ending soon. Now, Christmas Cage writes the main book, and Vault of Spiders is done by several different writers. You have Jed MacKay, Colin Bunn, Niall McCreer, James Amos, a regular, Ryan North, and Jeffrey Thorne. Issue 0 is done by different artists than the main book. The main book has got about 4 different artists on it for 5 issues. Some of them basically share an issue. The issue 0 is done by Clayton Crane. Yep. Which has the comic debut of this guy. Those of you who like, okay, that Spider looks very familiar. Isn't that like the Spider-Man from the 2017 video game? Yes, it is. As a matter of fact, this book was his next appearance right after the video game. Yep, the story here, New Players, which is basically about him. There's actually 2 stories. The first story is the artwork is done by Clayton Crane. Met this guy, really awesome artist. The backup story, Check-In, is done by Jed MacKay and Howard Guerin. Now, the main book's event is done by several different artists. For issues, the first 2 issues and 4 through 5 is done by Jorge Molina. 3 through 5 is done by Carlo Baroi. Todd directed the co-draws issue 3, and 5 is co-done by Sylvia Calcelli and Joy Velasquez. The artist for the Vault of Spiders miniseries, 2 issues, is by Scott Kublish, Howard Pilato, Saladin Verlia, Alberto Albuquerque, Juan Guidon, Mark Bagley, Andrew Hunsey, David A. Williams, and Todd Harris. Yeah. Now, what is issue 0? It is basically the comic book debut of Spider-Man 29. Now, before I can talk about the main story, you're probably thinking, now you may recognize some of the people on this cover. Who are these particular characters on the cover? Well, obviously the one in the middle is 616 Spider-Man. Yeah. This over here, the Superior Spider-Man, Dr. Octopus. The one standing above him is the 2017 Spider-Man from the video game, Spider-Woman. The one here under the Spider-Geddon logo, that's Spider-Man Noir, my favorite alternate Spider-Man. We also have Spider-Gwen, that's Mary Jane Watson as Spider-Ling. Spider-Man 2099, who actually is, believe it or not in this event at all. Despite him being on the cover, he is nowhere in this event at all. He's not even mentioned at all. Though he is making a return. He just made a return recently in the new 2099 event, which is basically because as this year, it's like 80 years of 2099. Yep. We also have Silk, who plays a minor role in the story, the Miles Morales Spider-Man. We have the Ben Reilly Spider-Man, who actually did not make an appearance in the previous event, but is here. We have Mayday Parker. We have Spider-Punk, who, believe it or not, this guy is not Peter Parker or Miles. This is Hobby Brown. Yes, the Prowler is Spider-Man. And this woman here, that is Ashley Barton, Peter Parker's granddaughter from the Old Man Logan series. Yeah, that's not a joke, it seriously is. Now, all these particular spiders do play somewhat of a role. Noir does appear in the first issue, but he plays no role in the event because in the first issue of the miniseries. Now, let's look at issue 0 first. 0 is basically Dr. Octopus, well, the Superior Spider-Man, meeting the 2017 Spider-Man. And now after this event, he does a couple miniseries, which is still going on, which is the second one right now. And its input set right. I own the video game. I own the 2017 video game, Marvel Spider. I own that video game, but I haven't played it. I heard it's really good. Yeah, I just haven't had a chance to play it yet. And this book basically follows what happened to him after that game. Yep, just a meeting with each other and them take on the, I think it's the Rhino, and then they go up to the whole Spider event. The event starts off with the Superior Octopus. Yes, this is a follow-up to Superior Octopus 1, which actually is not in this trade. Yeah, I thought that was quite weird. The fact that you have the Superior Octopus one-shot, which is a prelude to the very event, and it's not here. Unknown why, but it isn't. Now, in case you're wondering, who is the main Spider in this event? Why, it's Dr. Octopus, of course. Peter Parker doesn't show up with the final issue. As a matter of fact, he's mentioned a couple times, but he plays zero role in the main event. He's relegated to a tie-in in one of his spin-off books. Not the main book, surprisingly, in the spin-off book. Miles does play a small role in the story, but him and Dr. Octopus basically work as equals in the story, unlike in the case of the previous event where you have Peter and Dr. Octopus are butting heads throughout most of the story. Here, Miles is a lot of the time on equal footing with Dr. Octopus because Dr. Octopus makes a lot of good points. Yep. Spider-Punk plays a minor role in the event. We also see Spider-Kid, that's this character right here. We have Penny Parker. She's in the event for a very minor role. Let's see. Those of you curious about this particular Spider-Man, yeah, here's the thing about this one right here, where my index finger is pointing to. That, believe it or not, is not Peter Parker or even anybody related to Spider-Man. That is actually Norman Osborn. Yeah, for some reason, he's a Spider-Man. I have no idea why. The event doesn't explain why. There's also a Spider-Man who's literally a walking freaking zombie. And in case you're wondering, no, he's not from the Marvel Zombies universe. What universe he comes from? It's implied he might be the creature from the 4th issue of Edge of Spider-Verse. It might be that one, but it was implied, but never went anywhere. There's a story that kind of explains him. Yep. We also have new characters. We also have Web Slinger. Yeah, that, believe it or not, is a Western hero. He is not on this cover. No, let's see if I can find him here. He's put basically a spider version. You also have Spider-Man, who is May Parker. Yeah. A few new ones. Now, in case you're wondering, throughout this event, one thing I at least got praise for Chris for doing. This is by far the first event miniseries I can think of he's ever done. Now, despite the fact he does have both the tie-ins, at least he doesn't have a whole issue of the storyline just dedicated to simply promoting all the tie-ins, where it's completely out of the blue. And this book, yeah, there's reference like, you want to follow what happens to him? Read this book. That is fantastic. I kind of wish Access would have done the same thing. Yes. So basically, what's the story here? Yeah, the Spirit Octopus acts as a superhero in San Francisco, which, when I heard it, I'm like thinking, wait, isn't the Prowler operating in San Francisco? Or is he retired? I don't know. They don't bother to explain it. He just operates out of San Francisco for some reason. Basically saves the day, and then of course he tries to create more clones in case his body fails. And that's when the Web Warriors showed up. Yep. Also, the Web Warriors, this is technically the first appearance since the end of their ongoing title that came right after the events of Secret Wars. Yeah. Right after Secret Wars, we had the Web Warriors ongoing series by Mike Costa. A book that got canceled after 11 issues. Yes, a group book of Altered Spiders. How the heck did this book get canceled? Probably low sales. I have honestly no idea. Yep. Also, thanks to this event, we have the revival of the Spider-Gwen title, which had been canceled prior to this particular event. Now, in case you're wondering, Spider-Woman, who actually had her basically her series revived, and did she get one with this particular event? No, but she's getting one next year. Yeah, 2 years after this event ended, so a little over a year of the event. Why not? And of course, prior to this event, they also had to cancel the Amazing Spider-Man New Year Vow series, just prior to this one. Yep. Now, the whole thing is this. Because of them basically rubbing these clone vats and maybe the same tech to make the inheritors in the first place, and despite the fact you think, they're nothing, and then Moreland pops out one of the frickin' tanks. Yes, frickin' Moreland. The guy who basically started this whole mess in the first place. Now, in case you wonder about this guy, he is not a Dan Slott creation. He is a creation of J. Michael Straczynski. Yes, the creator of Babylon 5 created this guy. He first appeared at the start of his run back in 2001. Yeah, there's a trade that collects his first appearance. He appeared a handful of times over the years. And then prior to this book, this was practically his first time he's appeared in comics in 3 years. Yeah, him and his family have been eating other spiders. And basically, these guys have been reasonably thin. Excuse me. So they have everybody just... And of course, all the siblings, more than siblings, all get revived. Except their father. If you want to find out what happened with that little crystal, that is explained in the Spider-Force miniseries. Which the character Verna... She dies in it. Yep, she gets killed off. And I don't think she comes back. Yeah, and of course, Dr. Octopus also recruited the Spider-Man who's got a giant robot. Yeah, it's the Japanese one. Why not? Though the issue itself feels like something out of a Super Sentai show, and his short story he gets in The Vault of Spiders feels like a chapter of a manga. A very good manga, very sci-fi. Feels like similar to that of Mobile Suit Gundam. Yep. Now, the Spider India, which he does play a parent role in this book, doesn't do much of anything. During this, of course, event, Loom gets killed. Well, actually, Korn. Korn on Loom World gets killed by his siblings because he becomes a totem. Okay. In the main event, here's kind of the thing. No one notices that he's dead. Nobody. Nobody goes back to Loom World. Yeah, the place is pretty much deserted. Also during the course of the event, well, we have Norman Osborn join their side, and then after a battle with him, he's like, nah, screw it, I'm out of here. He takes the Spider-Man and chews out spiders, like thinking about eating flesh. Yeah, so they go off, and they pretty much destroy the Web of Destiny. Yeah, and it's also revealed throughout, thanks to Spider-Ghost miniseries, that Annie, the daughter of Spider-Man from the series Many Summer Many Vows, is the pattern maker, because they mention though that, well, Benjamin Parker, the son of Peter Parker from the MC2 universe, is the second, Silk is the bride, and Kane is the other, though he doesn't have the powers anymore. As for what the Six Spider-Man is, no idea. They mention stuff like that, and plus, I love the fact this book is not only a follow-up to Spider-Verse, but it references stuff that happens in events of Clone Conspiracy, which I'm like, okay. My only guess is the reason why that Crystal Skates were mentioned. Now, I get Spider-Verse because, well, this book is sequenced. Clone Conspiracy, my only theory is because he worked with Dan Slott in that particular storyline, and maybe Slott, because he heard about this crossover happening, even though he wasn't anything with it, like, hey, can you reference Clone Conspiracy in here? He's like, sure, why not? So he has some references to Clone Conspiracy, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that at all. At one point, it looks like Dr. Octopus betrayed Kane to the Inheritors. Nope, turns out it was a big fat lie. And I love the fact that we have the Marvel Spider-Man. Yeah, the 2017 Spider-Man. I'm glad the fact he plays a big role in this series, which is fantastic. And this is just pure fun. I mean, it feels like a lot more better of a told story than what it did with Spider-Verse. It is purely fantastic. The event ends with revealing that the reason why the Inheritors do it. Now, Moreland is, he disappears half of the event. What happened with him? Read the Peter Parker Spider-Man tie-ins, which are the last 3 issues of that series. That explains what happened to him in that particular storyline. He gets defeated by Peter Parker, and he's imprisoned. Yeah, he's imprisoned. What happens to his siblings? Well, they get turned into babies. And it turns out that the craving for spider stuff, the eat spider powers, yeah, that basically is something their father basically put in them. So, when it's removed, basically they raise these babies up from scratch. Now throughout the event, they were going to either let these people live, or basically Dr. Octopus was insisting the whole story they had to kill these people. And then Spider-Man was like, hey, I'll take these babies back to my home and raise them. Yep. That's it, but just when it comes to that. And let's see what else. As for what happens to Moreland's father, I think he's killed again, but I think his crystal's father destroyed. But aside from that, they don't really specifically reveal what happened to him. Moreland, they don't specifically reveal what happened to him either, except he's in prison. But this event is really good. And Doubleshot Spider is basically just a series of stories featuring the new characters, which are some of them are pretty good. This book a 9 out of 10. It's far much improvement on Spider-Verse. Now, is there stuff followed with this thing at this particular event? What happened with Loom is actually explored in issue 4 of Spider-Gwen Goes Spider. Dr. Octopus' story, him along with the Norman Osborn Spider-Man, and they also had the female Dr. Octopus in here, which she acts more like a subordinate to him, but he doesn't disrespect her. Treats her as an equal. Excuse me. Because she's just a female version of him. So, yeah, basically the whole thing of Dr. Octopus, that's explored in the book that was started with this event, which was continued right afterwards with this Superior Spider-Man series. Yep. A series that lasted for 12 issues. Yep, they just ended it recently. As in the case of some of the other stuff, well, the Marvel Spider-Man character, he got 2 limited series basically out of coming out participating in this event. Yeah, which act as sequels to the video game, which is really good. I love these series; they're really good. And what else? In the case of what happened, Annie, they don't follow with that at all. Nope, they don't follow with it. It's like, okay, they said her being the pattern maker, and so far nothing has been done with it. There's no mention of this character. There's no possibility of the revival of the series again. Yeah, the book kind of ends with a possible return of a Spider-Man getting resurrected in this next event. It might be the one for MC2, but they don't specifically say Peter Parker on the tombstone. And he's crawling out of his grave. Maybe he survived. I have no idea. But is that followed up with? It's been over a year. I highly doubt it. Yep. But yeah. This one, I think we had 2 limited series for. Oh yeah, and also, as in the case of Spider-Man Noir, killed off in the first issue by Moreland. Yep. Gets killed off. Along with Spider-Man UK. UK was I wasn't really a big fan of this character at all. Aside from the fact he appeared in the stuff leading up to Spider-Verse and did play a small role in the event, he didn't have effect on me. His death had no effect on me. It did bother me when they killed Spider-Man Noir. I'm like, okay, of all that Spider-Man kill off, why kill him for? He's my favorite alternate Spider-Man. He's a fantastic character. Why kill him off for? Well, luckily enough, I think they're undoing his death thanks to his new miniseries coming out next year, which I'm looking forward to. Alright, next up is another Spider-Man miniseries. This is the Symbiote Spider-Man. Yep. This is a 5-issue series written by Peter David and artwork by Greg Land. Though at least got praised the fact for this. His artwork that doesn't really bother me at all in this whole thing. One thing, he doesn't copy stuff that much in here. He doesn't look like he draws traces from porn, as he's basically admitted. He's admitted for years. The main villain in this miniseries is Mysterio. My only guess is the reason why they decided to put Mysterio as main villain in this miniseries. My personal theory, because he showed up as Spider-Man far from home. Yep. This is an untold story from the time when Spider-Man was host to the alien symbiote, and he was dating Felicia Hardy. Now, this miniseries does feature something that actually did not happen in the regular books. Felicia Hardy meeting May Parker. And they had a good talk. It was a nice little moment. They met at the graveyard, which he was talking to, I think, her late mother. The Kingpin shows in the miniseries. Elektra plays a small role, not really a big role in this miniseries, but mostly just Spider-Man, Black Cat, and Mysterio. This, of course, is the Quilton Beck Mysterio. They even have, believe it or not, I kid you not, they have the Spot show up here. Yes, the Spot. Though this is before it came to Spot, so this is set prior to the events of Peter Parker, this particular Spider-Man 100. Yep. And the Spider-Man does defeat Mysterio in the miniseries, though he's on let's say shaky ground with his aunt because he didn't show up for a breakfast date with her. Yep. But this overall is a really good miniseries. Of course, the ending does set up something for more, but all it got after this was a one-shot tie-in to Absolute Carnage. But that's pretty much it. Great miniseries. Give this book a 9.5 out of 10. Really good. Fun little miniseries. It's nice that we have a miniseries. You have a lot of focus on the Quilton Beck Mysterio. You don't get a lot of stuff focus on him that much. Especially if out of costume. Apparently he's friends with the Spot. Which I'm like, when I heard the name Johnny, I'm like, oh yeah, it's Spot. But before he came to Spot. Yeah, it's so funny. Yep. But aside from that, that's really it for this particular review. My next review is going to be a movie review on the next MCU film, Ant-Man the Wasp. Okay, but next to you. Bye.